The next metal is cadmium. Cadmium is the transition metals. Cadmium is in its elemental form a soft, silver-white metal. It's not usually present in environment as a pure metal, but most often as complex oxides, sulfides, and carbonates in zinc, lead, and copper ores. The atomic number of cadmium is 48. The atomic weight is 112.4. The symbol is cadmium is Cd. The electron configuration is Tr4 5s2. The crystal structure is hexagonal. Cadmium is solid at 20 degrees Celsius or 68 degrees Fahrenheit, and the cadmium is the weakly basic elements. The other properties of cadmium, the atomic radius is 155. The melting point is 321.07. The boiling point of cadmium is 767.3 degrees Celsius. The density at 20 degrees Celsius is 8.65. Heat of fusion is 6.21. Heat of vaporization is 99.6. The electronegativity is 1.69. The first ionization energy is 867.8. The second ionization energy is 1631.4. Reaction of cadmium. Cadmium metals burns in air to form cadmium-2 oxide. This material is colored variously depending upon how it was made. The reaction is cadmium react to oxide and form 2 cadmium oxide. The cadmium metal doesn't react with water. Reaction of cadmium with base. Cadmium metal doesn't dissolve in aqueous alkalis such as potassium hydroxide. Reaction of cadmium with the halogens. Cadmium difluoride, cadmium 2 difluoride, cadmium dibromide, cadmium 2 dibromide, and cadmium diodide, cadmium 2 diodide are formed in the reaction of cadmium metal and fluorine, bromine, or iodine. Reaction of cadmium with acid. Cadmium metal dissolves slowly in dilute sulfuric acid to form solution containing the aqueous cadmium-2 ion together with hydrogen gas. The reaction of cadmium with acidic acid such as nitric acid are complex and depend upon precise conditions. The use of cadmium. As a result of its low coefficient of friction and its high fatigue resistance, cadmium is used in alloys for bearings. Cadmium is used in low melting alloys and is a component of many kinds of solder. It also is used in electroplating. Compounds containing cadmium are used in black and white television phosphors and in the blue and green phosphors for color television picture tubes. Cadmium sulfide is used as a yellow pigment, and cadmium selenide is used as a red pigment, often called cadmium red. Cadmium and tellurium can be compounded into CDTA, thin film photovoltaic modules whose physical characteristics are ideal for solar cell production. They are relatively low cost and have an almost perfect band depth for solar energy harvesting. Abundance of cadmium. Abundance Earth's crust 150 parts per billion by weight, 30 parts per billion by moles. Abundant solar system 6 parts per billion by weight, 70 parts per trillion by moles. The source, cadmium, most often occurs in small quantities associated with zinc ores such as sphalerite. Greenockite is the only cadmium mineral of any consequence. Almost all cadmium is obtained as a byproduct of zinc, copper, and lead ore refining operations.
Now, bonding of cadmium. The lattice parameter of cadmium are for A 2.98 Armstrong and C equal to 5.62 Armstrong, with C for A is 1.88. The shortest intraatomic distances within the chain are 3.69 and 2.99 Armstrong. The coordination number is K equal to 12. Cadmium has 8 stable and 12 radioactive isotopes. So the fact that there are different interatomic distances determine the crystal structure, psychochemical properties, polymorphic transformation, and phase transition of cadmium, and leads us to conclude that the hexagonal close-packed structure of this element is due to the overlap of the outer spherical shells stabilized by the orbitals. So the unit cell projected into xy plane fifth along C6 axis. This is the hexagonal structure of cadmium.